there's a way that we've been conditioned, and we keep on following that without even questioning. They have programmed us in a manner that if you take some time and step back and start asking questions, we have been lied so many times, and it's now time for me to start asking questions and implementing what is the truth.
So, for those of you who don't know who our guest is on the show, let me introduce you, right? So, this guy is one of the most incredible guys that I've come to know for the last couple few months. I mean, this guy is moving mountains. I'm telling you, the work he's putting into himself is just on another level. I'm telling you, you guys are lucky to hear from this guy because what he's about to pour on you is gonna be bombs. And if you're not gonna take that, dude, you're gonna be missing out real big. So, John, tell us a
Wow.
little bit about you.
That's so great. How are you able to do that without, a transcript or something? That's
it's
so great of you.
it's just that your actions have moved me, so it's kind of
Uh-huh.
easy to come by, easy to put it out there, and I want people to get to see and understand, how it is like to be around you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome, awesome. Great to be here
yeah,
and hoping to share more for even the people who are watching.
yeah.
Yeah, so grateful that you have me.
Fantastic, man. It's
Yeah.
We're delighted to have you. All right,
Hmm.
so John, who are you? If we're gonna start from that place, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What I would like to say is I am a guy who is so passionate about life, passionate about electrical engineering, and that has been my life from basically when I was young, all the way, even in my school. It has been so intentional, like what I do, uh, what I went to college to do. The subjects I picked in high school were very intentional, and basically that is uh, what I do. On the other side, what I'm a guy who likes to better myself each and every day. I don't know whether that makes sense.
Actually, that's the topic that we're gonna be tackling in the show,
Yep.
to be precise, and that's where we're gonna be starting.
Hmm.
So yeah, that sounds incredible, man. Sounds like what most of us were like. We're like raised in,
Yeah.
and what separates you from everybody else that I know in the circle is what you're doing to yourself, man.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the best improvement that you can do in this life
Yeah.
is on yourself.
Uh,
Every time that you wake up in the morning, you have goals, and you have to be intentional in what you're doing. You don't wake up with big things in mind. You wake up with an intention to do something to overcome a hurdle. Like, let's say there is a goal that you have set for the day. You say, I want to do this, I want to do this, and you work towards accomplishing that. So, yeah, be intentional.
Yeah, so it sounds intentional. Okay, I'm so curious to hear about something that you once told me on the phone. Okay, for those of you who don't understand, John and I are in constant communication here and there. That's how I'm able to keep track, and
Right.
sometimes it keeps me accountable,
Yeah.
and do reciprocate here and there. So, there's something you talked about. There's just one day I called you. It was on a weekend, and you told me that you were doing like earthing, like a meditative walk,
Yeah.
grounding yourself. So
Wow.
I'm curious to hear about that a little bit deeper.
You see, this is a concept I got from someone I follow online.
Okay.
And I don't know whether we are allowed to mention names here, but anyway, I won't. So this guy
You can
inspired
just
me.
to help people, dig deeper into research and see how you're thinking as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. His name is Amerix.
Uh-huh.
He's so
Nice.
big on Twitter and Telegram, and so he talks about earthing, and our our feet are most of the time in shoes,
Hmm.
and so the way the man was made is in such a manner that even when you are walking, there is a way the muscles of the feet need to be free.
Yeah.
So most of the time we are in tight shoes. We do not allow our muscles, to move in certain manners. So every Sunday is a day that I do barefoot walking
Yeah.
for at least an hour.
Wow.
When I do that, it is a way of earthing, meaning uh, uh, letting go the chemicals and getting rid of all the toxicity from the body. And so basically, when I interact with nature that way, all the toxins are gone
Mhm.
and I feel better. And even in that moment when I'm doing that 1 hour barefoot walk,
Yeah.
I feel some change in me because I'm able to focus in my thinking, and I like meditating a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like taking time alone and just disappear into a world whereby I can be able to connect with myself and connect with nature. So basically, that's all about it. You should try it. People look at me like, "Are you mad? What is the problem with you?" Some people even stop me
Okay.
and ask me, "Bro."
Yeah.
I think those are the ones who know me, and they ask me, "What is it?" They think I'm going mad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. I think I don't know who said that quote, but they said it was Einstein actually that brought about that. You know, we've forgotten about the sacred gift, and now we are here trying to chase the servant, right? The servant that being like our what the school and what the conventional, the multi, the mainstream channels want us to see and believe,
Yeah.
instead of who we really are and what we're capable of. Instead of nurturing that, so we're like, hey, keep doing what everybody else is doing, but here you are, you're nurturing like your sacred gift.
We've been conditioned,
Yeah,
and we keep on following that without even questioning.
yeah,
Like you've talked about the system, the schools and all that.
yeah,
They have programmed us in a manner that if you take some time and step back and start asking questions,
yeah,
and you see there are these people who are like I talked of Americs, I talked of you see, like currently there's a lot of information out there on the internet. You can Google, you can be able to go through all the information and see what's good for you and what's not.
yeah,
So we right now the system is not able to cheat us if at all you decide to look for information.
yeah,
So when I look for information, I find that we have been lied so many times,
yeah.
and it's now time for me to start asking questions and implementing what is the truth.
Yeah, we've been lied so many times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Many times. That's insane though.
yeah.
So I absolutely agree with that. But it's so funny that we have all this information out into the world, but some people still choose to live in the conventional, same old kind of system. Do this, do that. You're supposed to, and never really figuring out who they are. Just choosing the next, paycheck, just to be like, the next neighbor who has a nice ride or something, and they had to be like in debt to own that car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
I feel like you're talking about me. I was that guy.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I was that guy. I was that guy.
Yeah.
And you see, it is so hard for people to resist. People resist change a lot,
Yeah.
and no matter whether the change is for their own good
Uh huh.
or a person they know, they keep on resisting it.
Yeah.
So when I was reading a book that you had recommended, Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
people don't want to change. It is so hard. You find that when you try to talk someone out of a certain habit that they have been into, and they know that this is the way of life, no matter how much you try to convince them otherwise, it is going to be so difficult for them to change and adapt to new systems.
Yeah.
So I was that guy, and it would have been so difficult for you to convince me and to tell me that employment, for instance, is not the solution.
Yeah.
There's a better side to life. So I was a guy who was hooked to that,
Yeah.
and now I trying to come this other side, to appreciate technology, to appreciate the power of the internet,
Yeah.
to appreciate the power of marketing.
Yeah.
I knew all of these things existed,
Uh huh.
but I didn't want to go that direction.
Yeah.
I was still stuck in the practice of let me go physically knock the door and say, this is my product. And nobody wants you to knock their doors nowadays. Nobody.
They'll call the cops on you. They'll call the police on you, man.
Yeah, yeah. Or they let the dogs free for you.
Who
You
let
don't
the
want-
dogs out?
they let the dogs out. And you don't want to be in that situation.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane when you think about it, but it's completely mind-boggling to just, here you're seated and you're trying to explain to us how you transition from, a like the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
If you're from the blue pill to the red pill, for those of you who don't know the Matrix, man, you gotta go watch that movie.
Yeah.
And you say that Think and Grow Rich was one of the key books. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Was it one of the books that helped you transition from into this new mindset of freeing yourself and being able to be resourceful in terms of marketing, understanding technology, and just expanding your consciousness as well as your business?
Well, first of all, before we go even to the book reading thing,
Yeah.
uh, let me tell you just where I was and the world that I was in.
Yeah.
So I was this guy who used to, I was still stuck in the old ways of doing things.
Uh-huh.
Like the way I was talking about marketing and the internet and all that.
Yeah.
And so I believed that the people who are online, people who are using, digital marketing and all that,
Yeah.
are a special kind of people. And to some extent, I would think they are delusional. But
Okay.
I would even go with assumptions.
Yeah.
Like people who are doing marketing online, they don't know how things are done, and I would go with the old ways of doing things. So I was a guy who was not reading books.
Mhm.
I was a guy who was not appreciating technology.
Mhm.
I was a person who did not want to adapt to change. I really was, I was like a sheep just following a certain route.
Yeah.
And so here is where now I really want to appreciate you, Alan, because you basically changed my way of thinking. So I remember there's this day we met, and so you were trying to tell me about, you were asking me, how have you been? What do you do? And I remember you were talking in this accent, and I tried to talk you out and tell you, dude, why are you pretending? Why are you talking like this?
Yeah.
And that is when you told me that, I had to change my the way that I talk because of the clients that I deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the first awakening call for me.
Uh-huh.
That it is not about me, it's about the audience that I'm trying to reach.
Correct.
If I'm trying to market to people, it's kind of when you go to Rome, do what the
Romans do.
Yeah. Okay, you get it, eh?
Yeah.
So then, so I that was one. Number two, you asked me about where I was going, and that time I told you I was going to fix some electronics somewhere. And so you told me, which is your area? You asked me, which is your area? I told you my area is electrical maintenance and all that, basically electrical field. And you asked me, so who is your target market? Then I told you, everyone. I can go and fix everything and anything.
Yeah.
So you told me, this again the second awakening words that you said. If everyone is your customer, you are going to burn your fingers. So at that point, I thought you don't know what you're talking about. So I went home. You see, like everyone else, someone will tell you something that is so important for you,
Yeah.
and that can transform your life, but you dismiss them immediately.
Uh-huh.
So even in that point, I dismissed you immediately in terms of what you are telling me. And again, I was like, who are you? You are younger than me. And then that night, I couldn't sleep well, but I kept on thinking about those words.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, this guy has a lot in him. Within those few minutes I've interacted with him, so it kept on ringing in my mind that there is something, there's a world that I am not exposed to. And so that is when I decided that I need to, uh, I get some more time of you. And you remember we had our first meeting.
Yeah.
And you were so busy. I was trying to get you to have this meeting, and you are so busy. And again, that brought another awakening that people are busy. Look at the guy you thought was younger than you. He's so busy. He doesn't even have that time. But I'm so grateful that eventually you found time. And I remember in this meeting you told me more about even intentional marketing. You told me about digital marketing, and you asked me some questions again, which triggered me.
Yeah.
You asked me, how do you spend your first 6 hours when you wake up?
It was actually 4 hours. The
Oh,
first 4 hours of your day.
Yeah, yeah. And I was trying to fumble around the answer. Like, dude, you just wake up, you have breakfast,
Yeah.
and you take a shower, and if there is anything that you're supposed to go and do, you go and do. And it looked so sketchy. And again, you asked me how many books have I read in the past, like, I don't know, was it 1 month or 2 months?
It was 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no book.
Damn.
So it challenged me, and you recommended me 2 books. And I recall very well that I immediately went and bought those books, and I started reading the books. So the first book was Code Email Manifesto,
Yeah.
and another book was
Start with why with Simon Sinek.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you recommended this book because when you were when I was telling you about my target audience or my target customers, it looked so sketchy. It looked like I was targeting everyone.
Yeah.
And you see, it's so hard to compete out there when your target market it's everyone. So I went and read those books,
Yeah.
and from there on, I've appreciated reading books, and my mindset has changed because even the way I approached life is so difficult. So I can say in my life, because I've really transitioned, I'm a different person now. I appreciate the internet, I appreciate technology, I appreciate change. I change every now and then, I change every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can say the shift came because of you. And the moment I always remember even the place where we met on the road. And I always tell you it is my Damascus moment. So I really appreciate you, because were it not for you, my mindset would still be a backward mindset.
Well, you know what? One thing impresses me most about you is the fact that, despite, knowing that, hey, this is foreign land,
Yeah.
you still took that and you got out of the comfort zone and ventured into something of becoming more of yourself, which is the most worth it goal on this planet.
True.
Right? Because if everything is just passing you, you're never gonna recognize opportunity unless you become adapt to knowing what opportunity is. And now you're that person, man.
Yeah.
It's actually funny that when you walked in here, you're saying something about how we should believe in this podcast. I'm like, who's this guy, man? Because the first time we met, you're completely different. Right now I'm like, yeah, maybe he's right. You gotta believe in something in order to do it. So I kind of like the kind of new friends that I got, the upgraded version of you, which is super fantastic.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where you're taking your next project in terms of yourself and your business, and impacting the people around you as well as the people in the country, because you're doing a lot of work in that area, which you're gonna touch base in the future. So you better stay tuned on that.
Sure.
On that. All right. So John, tell us a little bit about now that you transition into the personal development. Now, what is your day like? What do you wake up on a typical average day? You've told us about a Sunday, doing everything.
Yeah.
Now from Monday to Friday. So how's your typical day like?
So, like I said, my day is very intentional.
Yeah.
Everything that I do has a why behind it.
Yep.
So, if, for instance, I wake up in the morning, I always wake up at 5 a.m.
Hmm.
Uh, from 5 a.m. to 6, I'm reading a book.
Yeah.
And since we had that meeting with you, I have read, think it's close to 5, 6 books.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I think it's in less than 6 months.
Yeah, it's actually 3.
Yeah. So I've read a lot of books.
Yeah.
And what I do, even with my phone, I have to ask myself why. So when I wake up, I have to read books all
Yeah.
the way up to 6. And then 7 to 8, I now start exercising.
Mhm.
I do some press ups, some push ups. There's a day like on Tuesday, I go for a morning run.
Yeah.
This morning run,
Dude, and you didn't call me?
it's a great moment, man, and it's also a sacrifice on the other side.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I didn't know whether you would be in for it. Next Tuesday, I can tag you along if you don't mind.
Yeah, try me, man.
So every Tuesday,
Yeah.
between 6:30 to 7 or 7:30 to 8, I'm doing my morning run.
Yeah.
So that is to substitute for uh, uh, the morning exercise that I do, like
Yeah.
let's say the push up and everything.
Mhm.
8 now is when I take my coffee. I love coffee.
Yeah,
So
coffee
much.
dude. Coffee dude. We'd be in a restaurant, and the only stuff this guy's gonna ask for everybody else is having a meal is just a plain tea. I mean, cup of coffee. Like, who
Yeah,
does that, man?
yeah, and
If
by
it's not coffee, it's meat.
yeah, and by then I'll get to talk about the diet and everything.
Yeah.
It's something else.
Okay.
But so when I take my coffee, that is the time now
Uh-huh.
I can check my phone.
Nice.
You see.
Yeah.
So like I said, everything is intentional, and I don't wake up in the middle of the night to to check my phone or who has texted or who has commented or liked my content. I don't care because they don't care also.
Yeah.
So I have to be intentional. So that is between 8 to 9,
Yeah.
and then from there, I start now doing my research work. There are a couple of things that you and I are doing. So I have to be proactive in doing the research work, and also uh, because I still do electrical maintenance and also sell gadgets to my clients. If there's a client that I have to, supply the appliances or, give them my services, that is the time now I focus on that.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but I forgot something. After I do my exercises or my morning run,
Yeah.
I do something else,
Which is
which is so great to me. It is like what can I refer to it? It's like a religion. It's like, and it's so great. Guess what?
I'm guessing.
It's a cold shower.
Damn.
Regardless, regardless of the weather,
Yeah.
whether it's drizzling, whether it's raining, I go in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My body, my mind is telling me, dude, today you can just put that shower head on. I'm like, no. One thing, by the way, that I've come to learn that has been so impactful in my life
Yeah.
is saying no to myself.
Uh-huh.
You are craving for, and I remember when we used to meet most of the time in our routes where we were colliding on the road.
Yeah.
Some of the times I would even walk into a supermarket just to get some snacks. But nowadays, I've learned to tell myself no. I don't remember the last time I went to a supermarket and got some snacks. So I keep on telling myself no. So when I walk into that cold shower, I communicate to myself and tell myself, bro, come rain, come sunshine. If this shower head is going to get ice out of it instead of the normal cold water,
Yeah.
you will have to get in, take that shower, and come out. So it is usually an amazing moment because it again kicks me out of my comfort zone. So fast forward to now the coffee, my research work, and the work of the day. After I'm done with that, there's an important moment where now I have my first meal of the day and the last meal, which we refer to as OMAD. One meal a day. So that is also like a ritual to me.
Yeah.
I respect those moments when I go to the shops and buy my food, which again, my food is just boiled most of the time. I, I, I go and prepare, and it's an amazing moment because I love creating.
Yeah.
So even when I'm in the kitchen and I turn these arrowroots, the ndumas, I boil them. I feel so great when they are finally boiled.
Yeah.
They are cooked. I feel so great.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm a guy of meat.
Yeah. It's savage.
If it's not meat, it's eggs.
Yeah.
So that is now my meal. After I'm done with my meal, again there is another session with myself.
Uh-huh.
And that session is whereby I can continue doing some more research online. I can post comments and content and also reply to clients. And if I'm not doing that, I'm reading a book.
Yeah.
After I read a book, now at around 9:30 to 10, it's now the time that I prepare myself, switch off the lights, switch off the mobile data and all that, and gradually prepare myself to go and sleep because again, this is another moment that I really, really honor and respect.
Yeah.
And between, by the way, after eating my meals and going to bed, and in between the things that I've told you that I do, like reading and all that, these are times I don't want anyone to knock on my door. I don't want anyone to come and tell me there's a bill that you're supposed to pay and all that, because it's like a ritual again.
Yeah.
Because it's when I connect with myself and my daily routine,
Yeah.
and I usually love it. And when I go to sleep, I usually love to have a sound sleep because, again, sleep is important for my health.
Yeah.
So basically, you can see there is a great difference in before I met Alan, before my Damascus moment, and now everything is intentional.
Yeah, everything is super intentional.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is sounds like pure self-discipline, cultivating that next version of you requires you to do work and sacrifices. And as you've had, sacrificing going into the supermarket, and where does that come from? If I can break it down, it comes from the small things that you do when you open your eyes. The reading, picking that book instead of going straight to your phone, then exercising, and then jumping into a cold shower, and then now you're having coffee and checking the phone. Now that's when you can allow to do that, which is super important.
Yeah.
Actually, you shouldn't check your phone in the first hour of
When
the
you
day.
wake up.
Yeah, when you wake up,
Yeah, sure. It will distract you.
or the last hour when you're going to bed, because that's gonna it's gonna flood your head into instant gratification.
Sure.
Because we all want,
Dopamine.
because we all like, hey, what's the next comment, what's the next what's the next view, what's the next
Why
this
don't
person.
I have
Yeah.
all these likes like others? Why are people garnering all those views? Why is my video? So it again messes you up, and it might destroy your sleep cycle.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's super important to have these things, especially in the modern day world where we have everything at our disposal and nobody cares, man. Marketers like us are not gonna rest. They're gonna push everything to the limit, even if it means before you go to bed, when you have that phone, we're gonna advertise to you, man.
Yeah. The supply is actually uh, too much,
Yeah.
the supply is higher than the demand.
Well, did you know that the in today modern world,
Yeah.
the only commodity you have to give, you can give it for free because phone is no longer the product.
Yeah.
People are the product.
People are the product.
Like on Instagram, Facebook revolutionized the world.
Yeah.
The moment they built like Facebook, and now they were like, okay, we have all these users. What do you do with this? Okay, we can't sell a product. So what do we do? Let's sell these people.
Yeah. And so I was listening to someone and he talked about people
Uh-huh.
and the product. So he was saying if you're online and you're not making money, you're the product.
Correct.
The people who came up with all these social media stuff, Facebook, TikTok, and all that, if you're there just to, to laugh and watch stuff, you're the product.
Yeah.
Someone is making a living off of you.
Off of you, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like one day we also went to a network marketing event, and I remember I was trying to sell. I was in college at the time,
Yeah.
at least before I dropped out. So a lot of folks were like, there's two types of people on the internet.
Yeah.
And this was a CEO speaking, and he said, because I like that CEO, he helped change my life to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And he said, there's two types of people. The first kind of people is the people who make money on the internet, and the second people are the people who, give money to the internet. So which one you want to become is your choice.
And you're absolutely right. You see, the choice is yours. But again, if you are not aware
Yeah.
of which side you fall into,
Yeah,
it's easy for you to, flow with the masses.
correct.
Because if you don't know you are the product, like you'll say, okay, I have Wi-Fi,
Uh-huh.
and or maybe I'm using a neighbor's Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
or the mobile data is not that expensive.
Yeah.
How can you tell me that I'm spending my money on the internet, yet this is so cheap?
Yes.
I can see someone in Australia being chased by a kangaroo, and I laugh at it, and at the end of the day, my bundles are still there. So the problem is that we are in a hole or in a problem
Yeah.
without knowing. But there are people who are at the top who have this knowledge, who know that you are at the bottom, but they won't give you that information because
Yeah.
when you wake up, then they lose.
Or you're gonna become like them, and they're gonna lose control over you.
Yeah, sure. Make them poor, control them, make money off of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same stuff that's going on in Congo. I'm not sure whether you have that recent news.
No.
Okay, it's gonna hit you hard on this because I know you like technology and stuff. So here's what's going on. In the last, couple of decades, China's been, all in on Africa. But the thing is, they super landed on this one specific country, which is one of the biggest in Africa, and it's in the center of Africa. Guess what country it is? Congo.
Congo.
Why? Because they're mining cobalt, man.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing. This cobalt is the same element we use in batteries, electric cars. Your phone's got, cobalt into the battery, right?
Yeah.
The laptop has got everything. It's got the cobalt as well. But it's like they're making so much millions and billions. This is like a new billion-dollar industry because of ET, electric vehicles, and all this kind of stuff. EVs, actually. But the country's still poor. It's even poorer than it was
Yeah.
because they're having kids mine cobalt. They're having women who are like, they have to take care of the kids. It's no longer farming. It's no longer doing the thing. It's just they're getting like $5 a day, maybe $2 a day, just to mining cobalt and grinding. They don't even have safe equipment. So it's kind of like turning me off, knowing that hey, here's where the world is supposed to be going. But as much as we are bringing green change and buying electric things, saying that they're going to revolutionize the world, at the same time it's dehumanizing other people in one specific country where the most important commodity is found, which is the material needed to build the batteries.
Battery, yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, you are right because now here's the problem. The problem with our African countries and especially the leadership, is that we do not see ahead. Every government that is in place will always be concerned about what they want to achieve in their lifetimes. That's why you see people, when they're doing their campaigns, they're talking of in the next 6 months, in the next 2 years. We need a leadership mentality whereby we are seeing the future, whereby we are coming up with policies that are going to transform our countries, even though these policies are going to stretch for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
So most of our leaders, according to me, are the problem. And again, when you go down to now the people who are being led by these leaders, are the problem in this sense that they do not have high ambitions. Because if someone thinks about the next meal, and I was that person again,
Yeah.
I was thinking about how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to afford my next meal? And so I was in this mindset whereby let me go do some work today so that I can be able to eat today. And then tomorrow, if I want to eat, I will wake up tomorrow and by good luck get someone to offer my services to, and so that I can afford tomorrow's meal. So you see, this is a cycle. So when we talk about mining cobalt or any mineral in our African land, which is, this land is very rich, by the way.
Very rich. Yeah.
The minerals that these other countries are taking from our land to other places, it is what is making those countries very rich.
Yeah.
We admire those countries not because of their own resources, but because of the resources that they have gotten from our own land. So if people have a different mentality and mindset, it is going to transform us in the way that we think. Because you see, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Even these families that are being exploited, even these children that are being exploited,
Yeah.
they're being exploited because there's a broker somewhere who is the link between them and these people who are coming from, these investors who are coming from these foreign countries. And you see, again, we eat ourselves in this sense. The middleman here between this rich person who is coming for these resources is also an African like us.
Yeah.
And he would want to keep on exploiting these the minorities, the children, the families, who, because they understand very well that this person wants the next meal.
Yeah.
Their only hope is me. And this investor, the billionaire, understands that well, you know.
Yeah.
And also the government of the day is corrupt again. So that cycle now will make us to continue to get into deep problem unless someone wakes up. But now the issue is we cannot wake up as a community or as a group. You wake up alone. I was giving you this story where I told you, first of all, it is hard to be Alan. Why? I remember, like I was saying, you transformed my thinking. You changed my way of, doing things, like reading a book. They always say if you want to hide something from an African, hide it in a book.
I think that guy who said that was somebody who was speaking bad things about us. He didn't. He had.
He didn't
had
mean
no faith.
exactly that.
He didn't know what he was talking about because I really doubt that. He was. I say that guy was short-sighted. He didn't have any vision at all.
Oh, to some extent, I believe him.
I do not. You know why?
Yeah.
Because we are children of information. Obviously, the moment we're born, we become adapt and we download the software of the people who raise us, right? So obviously, we come from a place where we didn't have any learning. Let's take our country for example. We didn't have any schooling for like the last 200 years.
Yeah.
That's when, since the the Portuguese landed, the missionaries landed, that's when we started doing reading and writing. I mean, that's what we can say. But before that, it didn't mean that if you could write, we couldn't read. Don't mistake that for not having the ability versus hey, we just don't know it at the time. Because right now, if he is living, he would say something totally different. If he was living today, we have one of the greatest market in life. People in school are reading. You're reading books. I'm reading books. The person, everybody in this room is reading books. So the person who say that if you want to hide something, put it in a book, was a person who didn't have the best of interest for us, and he was a short-sighted person, and I've always hated that person. And if I was gonna find him, I would definitely look him into the eyes and tell them, "Hey, whatever you said, man, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what Africa you're talking about
But have
because
you
it's not
noticed
us."
that you have very few examples of people who read books?
Well, yes,
I don't know whether you're exposed to the masses out there who uh, who probably have books in their houses that they have never opened even a single page.
well, I guess this is what the show is all about, to help empower, those guys to go out, pick a book, get to understand, learn new stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to become rich, if you want to become healthy, if you want to become successful, there is no shortcut. You got to go look for these secrets.
True.
And if I can tell it, if I can guide you more intimately in a book,
Yeah.
why do I have to keep spending time with you? Like, that's what we did, right?
Yeah.
I could tell you everything I know about Think and Grow Rich, but it came to you in an intimate level that you and the book could understand,
Connect.
could connect, right?
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right?
You're right. By the way, there are so many ways in which you can break information to people. It's like we have a universe, or like there's there's a cloud in each and every person's mind, and for you to penetrate that, it is so difficult if this person is not willing to change. So I remember uh, I was not a person who would really appreciate change, especially when it comes to reading books, getting new information. I was this person who was stuck to what I know. Like,
Yeah.
you can't tell me anything. There's no way you can't change my mind. My thinking is the correct one. I am thinking about this, and there's no way you can convince me otherwise. So people are wired completely differently, and like I said, it is so difficult for a person to be like Alan, because I try to change someone
Yeah.
and convince them, you know what, dude, you have a great talent, and I believe what you can do is implement this and this and this to the things that you do day in day out. Because I thought, according to me, he was doing things the old way, like I was doing.
Yeah.
Man, that guy kind of like just brushed what advice I was giving him.
Yeah.
And so it proved to me that indeed not everybody is willing to change.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's the sad truth. And which is great news, because if you're out there and you're watching this and you don't want to change, well, guess what? We'll change it for you.
Yep.
Gladly. And we'll make the amount of money that you could have made gladly. And we'll be successful. We'll be driving that car that you want to drive gladly.
We are doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, for you. If you don't want to do it, we're ready to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, this it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. If you can do it, and if we also do it, we all end up happy at night. If you don't want to do it, we'll still do it. I'll do it.
Yep.
So
It's all in the mind, by the way.
you want to do it, you want to do it. If you don't want to do it,
Because like I've been saying here,
Yeah.
changing someone's perspective about life or about things is so difficult.
yeah,
Before I started having one meal, it was so difficult for you to penetrate my mind and convince me why I should. I thought I would collapse. But
Yeah.
right now, I can even fast for 72 hours straight.
damn,
I can go for 2 days without food.
yeah,
There's this program where I've programmed myself every week. There's one single day that I don't eat.
damn, man.
I just do, fluids. Like
Yeah.
I do coffee, black tea, sugarless. I can do green tea, sugarless. These things are bitter, man. But I know deep inside is what I should be focusing on. You see, there are people who have been so.
But yeah, I mean, it's paying off. Look at this guy's screen. You know, this guy's skin. If you can see it on the camera, Babs should remove the cape so that you can get to see it. I mean, it's like a kid's. It's like a skin. It's like a kid's skin. I can tell you're doing a lot, man.
35 strong, man. 35 strong years.
And he looks like an immortal.
Yeah, so I would say there are people who were very close to my life,
Yeah.
and I lost them,
Damn.
meaning they died.
How comes?
I lost my dad in 2006.
Sorry, man.
This was due to diabetes. And there's a place I was working. There's a boss who was so ambitious about life. He had a young family. Things were looking up to him. And he had just gotten a promotion.
Yeah.
And to a very big, a very senior position.
Hmm.
And this guy did not last even 3 months in that position. He passed on.
Why?
When he was when they were doing that postmortem surgery, they said that this person had multiple organ fails. You see, so now everything that I do in my life, I really
So,
have.
what contributed to the multiple organ fails?
Well, first of all, that guy used to drink a lot.
Okay.
Number two, the choices of foods he would eat. I remember there's a time he came to my workstation and he found me eating at around 4 p.m. because most of the time that is when I break my fast.
Yeah.
So I was eating at around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. ish there. And so he even commented and said, I can see you're trying to keep yourself fit by, eating once a day and eating earlier before you go to bed and
Yeah.
all that. But for him, it didn't even click to him that maybe what you're eating could be taking you closer to your end days. And you see, we are fed with foods and all that. So number one, he was drinking. He was his food choices were not right. He wasn't exercising and all that. I could tell from even his pot belly, which is usually a red flag number one.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm dealing with you and you are lean. I like dealing with the lean people.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
because
too.
I can even trust them.
Yeah.
So myself, I'm so into good health, and it's a very important aspect that I have incorporated in my life, because they lied to us that we need to focus on working, we need to focus on promotions at work, but actually the two things, according to me, that really matter and are very important in our lives is number one, health, number two, time.
Wow. Health and time.
Health and time. Because listen, if you are able to utilize your time effectively, meaning from the first minute that you wake up,
Mhm.
you plan your day,
Yeah.
you are able to achieve so much. You are not going to to give excuses or skip activities that you're supposed to do. So it means that your life is intentional. Everything you plan to do, you ensure that you do it, and you create some more time to be able to finish this thing. Number two, if your health is not okay, all your dreams will one day crash. Because, for instance, the example that I was giving you, this guy had a lot of dreams and visions, and there's a time he was about to give me some contracts of. Should I mention it here?
No, no need.
Okay. Yeah, we were about to strike some deals and do a good job for him, but that didn't come to fruition. Reason, he's already gone.
Yeah.
So if at all he focused on his health, would probably be here with him today.
Yeah.
So I think people don't focus on what really matters, and that is why I'm super, super intentional. There's no reason of me coming up with big goals, working so hard towards them, amassing all this wealth, and then just go.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
That's literally trading your soul to the devil. And food and a bad hype lifestyle is not devil. Yeah, I totally resonate. The fact that you said health and time, it just clicks me in a different light. Like it took me so many years ago.
Yeah.
It's not so many years ago, but it's quite a number. Like my entire the fingers and stuff. So it was so crazy because I remember somebody telling me, if they took you and dropped you in another country, all you're gonna have is yourself only. So that means if you don't have your health,
Yeah.
then everything else is useless. Because even if in the new country you're gonna find yourself out, nobody's gonna treat you seriously. You're not gonna be able to perform. You're not gonna have the energy to manage your time accordingly, and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that if you have health, then you can be able to accomplish anything you want.
You're absolutely right. Now, there are people who I see, we have this thing called Harambe
Yeah,
and WhatsApp group and all that.
crowdfunding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a time whereby I would be in these WhatsApp groups and we were, I don't know, contributing for this person who had a kidney failure. We were contributing for this person who was suffering from diabetes. There's another one who was doing dialysis every week and all that. And these people who are in these groups or who have invited me to these groups are actually very fat.
Yeah,
They don't do exercises. They are eating everything and anything everywhere. And so I was like, if I continue to entertain these groups and these people, I'm the one who is suffering. These people don't see the essence of good health, and they subject themselves to these bad lifestyles, which again is ruining their life. And like you said, there's a point in time in this life that will come where you'll find yourself alone, all by yourself.
yeah.
And so the thing that is going to help you move forward is not the friends that you have, but it is the health that you have.
And health in terms of physical health, mental health,
Yep.
emotional health.
Yes.
Because those are some of the aspects that's not taught in school, man. You never find a subject like so. They're gonna teach you the human biology, like this is the kidney, this is what it does. But guess what? It's useless when you're carrying like pounds of fat. You can't even get up in the morning. So you have to have that body. And it's funny that they teach all this general knowledge and the small things such as exercising is so crucial. They don't have like a syllabus on that, man. Like they can teach you how to do press-ups every single day, dude. That person has helped you 1,000-fold compared to what your biology teacher taught you.
True.
You don't even need to know how a kidney works. Just
Yeah.
do them push-ups, and you're gonna
Yeah.
be healthy.
Yeah. Drink water like the way we are doing.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so, you see, like when we were talking about the system when we were beginning the show,
yeah,
how the system is doing in the matrix is basically to make sure that you remain down.
down.
There are other people, even when you meet them in life, you try to tell them to, give you some of the secrets to a certain business that you want to venture in.
Yeah,
They won't tell you because they want to see you down all the time. Some of this information that we are sharing here is going to transform someone.
it is.
It's so beneficial.
Yeah,
But not everyone is willing to give this information freely because people want other people to stay down. So the same with the system. The system is actually people. They want you to stay down so that they can manipulate you and make money out of you.
and that's how they build government, unfortunately.
Yep.
Because governments compete against governments. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids, but they care that you be in a place where they can be able to tax you more
Yep.
while you do nothing for the rest of your lives.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at how it's intertwined from the time you make money, from the time you, even from the time you're born, the time you make, you go to school and all that kind of stuff. It's all a setup. They've already like predefined how your life is gonna be like for your entire life. It's not even the next 10 years, for your entire life. How you want your life to be is gonna be completely on you. You have to withdraw from the matrix, from the system, and say, "Here's how I want my life to be in the next 5 years." Man, you can start even by, "Here's how I want my day to be like tomorrow." You can start from that. That's where it starts, anyways.
Actually.
Here's how I want my day to be today. In the next 5 minutes, here's what I want. I'm gonna sit here for the next 5 minutes and I'm gonna meditate.
Exactly. So it is all about being intentional.
Intentional.
And again, don't think there is someone out there who is coming to save you.
No way.
All the questions that you have the right answers.
Correct.
And so if you think that someone out there cares much for you, guess what? The government loves fat people.
Tell them again.
Government loves fat people.
Yeah.
It loves lazy people.
Correct.
It loves people who are not willing to stretch their brains
And think.
to the limits, yes, and think about new ideas.
Yeah.
That's why right now, if you come up with an idea to, maybe you have a startup business, maybe you have an innovation, maybe you want to start something new in your country, and especially in our African countries.
Yeah.
When you go to give that idea to them, they're going to ask you for money instead of supporting you, because they are like, wait a minute, we don't do that here.
Uh-huh.
Your mind is crazy.
Yeah.
You're overthinking and all that. And then if you do not have the systems within yourself, to withstand all these shocks that you get from people, you are going to sink with your ideas.
Yeah.
So if you have an idea, you work so hard to ensure that you make it a success.
Uh-huh.
Because, like you said, if people do not stand for themselves and do things by themselves, then no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you.
Unfortunately, that's how it is, man. And I couldn't have put it in a better way. No one is coming to save you. The sooner you realize that truth,
Yep.
the better it is, man. Hey, but don't worry, opportunities are here, ways to make money is here. All you need to do is just, follow the right people. And that's why if you're not subscribed, you got to be subscribed right now. Stop whatever you're doing. Create time
Click
to
that
be more successful, because this that show that makes you meet your future self. Like, if you're not that version of yourself yet, man, I don't even know what you're doing watching cat videos, man. This is your show here. All right? Because I know this guy, the kind of deals he's pulling right now, oh my goodness.
More to come.
That's
More
what I'm
to
telling
come.
you. This, you gotta subscribe so you can understand what happened in this guy's life, because there's a lot more to come than you think. There's a lot more to come than you think.
And I'm very much willing to even come back to the show again and share more, because
Thank you.
I believe we cannot do everything in a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Even if we sat here for 24 hours, which I wouldn't mind. There's some podcasts which have actually gone for more than 5 hours.
Damn.
But you see, it is not about us. You
Yeah.
see, I appreciate you coming up with this setup and also ensuring that, this vision comes to, to success. And it's not about us. With time, you realize that when people will start coming to, digesting our content, that there are so many people who will appreciate what you're doing. There are so many people who are in situations that they don't know how to come out, but they're learning from what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
So this is so important, and congratulations for everything you set here.
Yeah. Thank you.
And one thing that I came to understand is that people have ideas,
Yeah.
people have information, people have these huge dreams and goals that they have set.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. But what separates these people from people who have accomplished much in life is action.
Execution.
Execution.
Get off your
Get up,
But
yeah, yeah, and this is something
get off
because
your coach.
again, what I did,
Yeah.
I did realize is that I've read all these books,
Yeah.
and I've searched for this information. I've sat with great minds like yourself, and I have this information, but there's something I need to do.
There's this fire in you, and if you don't
Yes.
do anything, it's gonna burn out.
Yeah, so taking action is actually one of the most important things in this life, because even if you have all the information, you'll end up like people. You see the way they say it. I don't know whether you will agree with this. Uh, the grave site is one of the richest places on earth,
That's the
because
yeah.
people have died with great ideas that could have transformed this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Mhm.
Absolutely right. Like, damn. So many ideas, so many people. And we get it. It's not your problem if you're out there saying, hey, man, I got this great idea and I don't know how to transform it into my life. The thing is, you're conditioned not to bring great ideas into this life because the moment you do that, you disrupt the system. But here's the thing, the more you listen to this, the more we let you know how these guys are doing it. Like this guy right here is a successful guy now, and how you can also do it because when you rub shoulder with people who are doing it, then you're gonna be raised to that level of standard, and you're gonna start doing it yourself because it's gonna be like, hey, this is the new normal, and exactly that's the new normal. This is our new normal. Well, if we have great ideas, we execute them, man.
One thing I've come to appreciate about this life
Yeah,
is doing a great investment in yourself
tell me about it.
and placing a bet, a huge one, in fact, on yourself.
Yeah,
Because when you do that, things will start working in your favor. Because, like myself, I used to be that reserved guy, even with my finances, and be like, okay, I have a great idea.
yeah,
There's something that I think can work.
yeah.
But again, when I do some research and I have to spend some few shillings, I'm reserved.
Like,
I'm
yeah.
like, these dollars, let me first of all convert them to shillings. This is too much for me. And
Yeah.
I think it made me lose a lot of opportunities because, again, if you want something to come into fruition, you also need to give something out. Like I remember we were in a certain meeting and you said $1 out, $2 back.
Yeah.
So imagine if you didn't give that $1 out,
You're not gonna get
you're
it
not
too.
going to get the two. So it also happens with yourself. If you really do a lot of investment in yourself, that is in reading books and not asking friends to give you these books. No. When you take your money out of your pocket and you go and buy this book, it will even prompt you to have to finish that book because you've invested in it.
Correct. Correct.
So, and then when you get all this information, and you decide to execute it, it's going to help you. And with time, you see, like you cannot change everything in a single day.
Oh no.
My example is Alan. I remember I used to uh, be concerned about my next meal and my bills. And so everything that I was doing every day was about myself. You get my point?
Yep.
So it was all about me. Like, where do I get the next meal? How do I, get money to buy this and this and this? But now through reading the books, through relating with you and you opening up my mind, and especially when you talk about uh, whom I'm supposed to target in terms of marketing, in terms of selling my products and all that, where my mind was opened up, and it actually blew me up, thinking that if you solve a problem for the masses or for a specific target group, uh, you'll even be rewarded more.
Yeah.
But if you focus on solving your own problems, you're not going to get the solutions.
Yeah.
Or if you get the solution, it's something so little that you don't even deserve.
And it doesn't feel great. Makes you feel like, like all this unreward, you're not satisfied. In
Yeah,
short.
yeah. But when you focus on solving bigger problems for people out there, you know, again you are rewarded. You are rewarded in ways that you will get satisfied. You will get everything that you want.
Yeah.
And if even if someone comes under you, like let's say it's a family or whoever, you're able to take care of them.
Yeah.
So my approach to life was kind of selfish, whereby I'm concerned about my next meal, the next trouser that I'm going to buy, whatever thing, the designer colognes and all that. But again, when I shifted my thinking, things are starting to open up.
I mean, and I think that's the actual definition of a man. There was this one guy who's asked why, and I'm pretty sure everybody asked this question at one point in their life: why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, what would you say? Why are we here? I think you just gave us the answer. We're here
Yeah.
to serve other people.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain simple. We're here to serve other people. My joy doesn't come from having a lot of money in the bank. Well, I'm gonna feel good when I buy that V8 or something. You're gonna feel good when you get that, Range Rover. But that's not the actual happiness. Actually, when you get it, it's just gonna be like the next thing, like that hat you have on your head.
By the did you know that you had that huge potential in you? I see many people walking around, and I imagine in my mind that these people have a lot of potential in them.
Yeah.
You, for instance, you had the potential, and you used that potential, and you transformed my thinking. And probably there are so many people who I'm going to meet in my line of work or business or in generally my life,
Yeah.
who I will as well impact positively. Assuming now you did not take that step, to impact me, how could that life be? Because you see, if you have a potential in you and you do not utilize it, you are just going to be gone, and we forget about you.
Yeah.
And we move on with our life. Think
Yeah.
about what people like Elon Musk are doing.
Yeah.
Great things that are transforming this life.
Hey, here's the funny thing. Elon Musk, you see the electric cars?
Yep.
I'm of the opinion that electric cars are going to come to fail. They're going to be like the housing market.
Why?
Why? Okay, now we're going to get technical in this right now.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so remember when I told you about the cobalt mining, the lithium thing, and all that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when if you compare like gasoline cars and you compare like electric cars, they have batteries and stuff. When you throw those two things in the graveyard,
Yeah.
the gasoline gasket and stuff, it's only gonna decompose. It's gonna get rust, and that's it. Right? Its metal can be transformed into something else. On the other hand, when you have electric cars and you have all these batteries, they start leaching.
Yeah.
The liquid gets into the soil, and you know what that happens? It goes to the water system. When it goes to the water system, people get poisoned, and that's not good because again, there's like so many variations of this lithium, cobalt batteries that we don't really know how to like regurgitate and recycle them.
Yeah.
The same way we do with, let's say, if this is aluminium, we melt it, we create this, a different mold and all that kind of stuff. So electric batteries is so kind of hard to repurpose.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with that. So it's gonna be like the real estate market in USA, like 2008 how it happened, and it's gonna come crashing down. And when it comes crashing down, then guess what's the next thing? The next evolution of the next car, and it's not gonna be gasoline. It's not gonna be an electric,
electric car.
battery powered car. It's gonna be more of a hydrogen kind of car. I think it's gonna be the next technology. So this is what we call evolution. Right now, we're like into the electric phase. Once we're in the good part of it. But the thing is, did you know? Like I saw this photo on the internet where people, if you can also look it up,
Yep.
in 2000 and it wasn't a Christmas, 2022, when people going to see relatives miles away, and this is obviously in USA,
Yeah.
and they had to like park their cars like on the road, like you could say like they were going to see somebody, like there was a convoy of vehicles, or to get charged because they can't get wherever they want,
Yeah.
and it takes more than an hour to charge an electric car. So what does that tell you? Some people have to stay there for a really long time
Yeah.
because if you don't get the charge, the car's not gonna move anyway. So it's gonna get it's people gonna realize this stuff is unreliable. I'd rather have the gasoline because we
Hmm.
say the gasoline is harming the environment, but not as much as electric vehicles are.
Yeah, and over the years, you are right. There has been a lot of improvement in terms of technology-wise.
Yeah.
There are a lot of measurements that have been put in place. For instance, when you talk about the climate change and all that, and there is a way that governments, which are not using the term climate change to, as a facade, but there are measurements that have been put in place, to ensure that every advancement of technology ensures that we inch closer to what is safe for people and what is safe for the environment. So, like, let's say the evolution of like the electric cars, uh, the main concern on that is about the batteries. And so there are batteries which are also being evolved that even use salt, you know. And as we know, salt is friendly to nature. So
Yeah.
what I can actually say is that we are looking forward to better times when high level technology advancements are coming along. It means that this technology is going to take care of us as well as the environment. So we can only hope for the better future.
I mean, yeah, and obviously, don't get mad of why we're having all these technologies that's running down the what do you call this, the environment and bogging it down and something, but it's human nature
Yeah.
and and this is what happens when people become billionaires at some point. When they get corrupted by power, they want to drive that thing. They'd rather drive it to the ground than not
Yeah.
have the opportunity to drive it.
Yeah.
That's why that's why obviously people are mining cobalt in Congo despite kids doing it, despite being risky for your health, despite women not going just beyond a meal for that day, not having like a health plan. Hey, let's build factories, or we can have these people, and then we can have pay them check, we can have health insurance, all that kind of stuff. So it's human nature, but again,
Yeah.
evolution
Yep.
happens. There was a time we used, like blackberries. We don't use those anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Evolution happens. Now we're using smartphones.
Yeah.
The evolution is gonna happen again. We're gonna go to Neuralinks,
Yeah, and by the way,
zombie mode.
in my practice, we used to repair those CRT TVs, cathode ray tubes TVs.
Yeah,
You see the TV which used to have an extension on the back,
yeah, yeah.
and then we evolved to these flat screens, and you see that cathode ray tube carries with it materials which are harmful.
Tell me about it.
So that tube in itself, it's like a bulb. It has to be sustained by some gases,
Uh huh.
and these gases are not friendly to the environment. Even the computers, the desktop that we were using
Those ones that were
before.
so bright, you could even hear. You could even
Yeah.
feel them hurt your eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have really evolved, and some few years ago, or probably some few years over a decade, you could imagine that we would evolve to using phones.
No way.
We only stuck our minds to desktop computers, and if there was an advancement to a further advancement towards that, it would be now the laptop or the tablet and all that. So I have a lot of hope in even the scientists and the advancements that are being done, say in the labs or wherever these advancements are being done, that we are headed to a future where with every production things will be safer for us.
I think if you ask me, which is an interesting question,
Yeah.
between people who make, who invent, and do innovations, and people who sell now the innovations, who do you think dictate the marketplace?
people who invent and people who sell that invention.
So between the two, who do you think has more to say?
I'm thinking about like the brokerage system and the farmer.
I think it's the person who sells.
Exactly.
So
So
that
the broker or the middleman who sells
yeah,
gains more. Like there's this sack of what do you say? What do you call potatoes?
yeah,
You know, I came to learn that farmers are selling the sack at, I don't know, 300 bob. And then when that sack gets to the final, the final consumer or the person who is buying, it's far much expensive than that.
uh-huh.
And so this person who is at the middle has really gained a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. That's how the world is. If you don't learn how to market, you don't know how you market value. Some person who knows, who gets a hold of that, they'll do nothing and they'll make more money than you.
Sure. I love it when you start talking about market topics and basically marketing, because that is your area.
Yeah.
And you also changed my mind in terms of marketing, because my approach was uh, whom do you know, and is this person going to refer you? So I was relying on ancient methods like referrals and all that, and they were failing, by the way.
Uh-huh.
So you have been so passionate about marketing, and I think things are very different, because the way you market your products out there will dictate the revenues that you generate at the end of the day.
Correct.
Uh, um, so if again on that aspect we change the way we attack this thing, then people have incredible businesses and business ideas, but without the right infrastructure or the framework, then their ideas remains just that.
Just ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a short break and then we're going to get back so that we can wrap up.